All right, we have a double factor situation right now. You walk up to this problem, you see the 8x squared, you see the 392, and you're like, that no good. No good. So, we're going to factor it the first time. 8 here. I think that divides by 8. We're going to try factoring out the 8. So we make a little run. We take 392 divided by 8. What is that? 49 times. Suddenly, a problem that looked like no hope is just jumping off the boards at us. You're like, oh, x squared minus 49. That's a difference of squares. Like, I know I can factor that. Here's my x, here's my 7. The x is first, so he goes first in each group. The 7 is second, so he goes second in each group. And you remember the signs on difference of squares. 1 plus, 1 minus. So x plus 7, x minus 7. So we factored it the first time, took out the 8. Realized inside here we had a difference of squares. We ran that. We're feeling pretty good for our final answer as long as we don't forget our friends. Nobody gets left behind. Make sure the 8 gets dropped down with your final answer. So you factor it one time by taking out the 8. You factor it a second time by doing difference of squares. Double factoring right now. Let's do another one. What do we got for the second one? Oh, you'll like this. So 6y squared plus 120y plus 600. You see these huge numbers and you think, I ain't doing this. But then you look at it, 6, 120, 600. You're like, oh, let's factor it the first time. Just take the 6 out. Like, yeah, I can divide everything by 6. That's no problem. So that leaves me just the y squared. 120 divided by 6, that's just 20. And then I have 600 divided by 6, that's 100. And now what looked like a difficult situation just got great. We're like, oh, I can do this. I've got this y squared plus 20y plus 100. Think of all the ways to give me 100. Like maybe I could go 2 and 50. Maybe I could do 10 and 10. There's lots of ways, 4 and 25. But what I need, this is 52, this is 20, is right there. So factoring this trinomial, we're just looking for these two numbers, the 10 and the 10. So this gives me y plus 10, y plus 10. And it's the same thing written 2 times. One y plus 10, another y plus 10. How about this? We go y plus 10 squared. Now, some people will be tempted to stop right there, but we're not going to stop right there because remember at the beginning of the problem, we took out the 6. Nobody gets left behind in math class. You grab that 6 and you make sure he is a part of your final answer. So we factor it one time by taking out the 6, get a trinomial on the inside, run that one, bring the 6 back in, double factoring. All right, let's do one really bad one to finish with. Okay, worst one of the day, last one of the day. 28n squared, oh my. Minus 140n plus 175. All right, yes, you look at this and you're really scared right now, like I don't want to try to do slide and divide, multiplying at 28 times a 175. That would be awful. So you think, maybe I can get a factor out first to make my numbers smaller. All these divide by 7. So first move, factor out the 7. 4n squared minus 20n, what's that, 25. So all the way across, divide by 7 gives me 4. Divide by 7 gives me 20. Divide by 7 gives me 25. So all the way across, we divide by 7, factoring it one time. Now let's look and see what we've got here. I've got 4n squared minus 20n plus 25. this will not divide by 4, so it looks like our old friend slide divide is back, but with much smaller numbers. So let's do it. Let's run the slide. N squared minus 20n plus 100. You say, how can I get a 100? Now we see the 20 here. Oh yeah, it's tempting just to run it again like we did on the previous one, plus 10 plus 10. But you'll notice on your minus 20 the negative sign. So we know this trick. It's going to be negative 10, negative 10. So this gives me positive 20, this gives me negative 20. So the whole purpose of the slide is to run these two numbers, negative 10 and negative 10. Okay, a whole second half to slide and divide. That's the slide, got me those two numbers, got to remember to divide. Let's get some space. Let's run the divide. So here we go. I've got these two numbers, negative 10, from the slide. I have to remember what number I slided over. That was the 4. So when I divide, I'm going to hit it by 4. Now, at least one of these reduces down, sometimes both of them. Okay, both of them. Let's reduce them. 5 over 2, 5 over 2. Now we're ready to drop these into our two finishing groups. And we're just trying to remember, is it the top number that goes first or the bottom number that goes first? Bottom number goes first. Bottom number goes first. Bottom number goes first. Boom, boom. Bottom number goes first. Negative, 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 negative. And we've got this. Go back, try to grab what letter we were working with. I think it was an N. I've erased mine. Let's just go with N. So we're going to go 2n minus 5. 2n minus 5. Oh, now we're up to something. You will notice it is the same group once and the same group twice. So we're going to write it one time and put 2n minus 5 squared. That looks like a really impressive final answer. There's just one thing that you forgot. What's the one thing you forgot? From the very beginning of the problem, we factored out everything divided by 7. We factored out to 7. So from way back up here somewhere, you've got to remember that 7 is part of your final answer. Okay, these problems today, you factor it one time, you factor it two times. Double factoring.